You know what? I'm so confident that I'm just going to go ahead and check this off right now because we have already gone through unite, subtract, intersect, and in this tutorial I am confident that you will have a full understanding of exclude. The next time we go back into Cricut Design Space, we'll bring it all together, but in this tutorial we will only be focused on exclude. We will look at how it's the opposite of intersect. We will look at the definition of exclude, and we will get back into Cricut Design Space so that I can show you how to get to the beta mode if you are not already there. Hello everyone, and welcome to Cricketing with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. We are coming to the end of our Cricut Design Space updates. I know that it has taken a while because we've done a few things in between that process, but we are coming to the end where we will wrap it all up. I'll try to get that done as quickly as possible. At any rate, at the end of this video, if you find this tutorial helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's head right on over to Cricut Design Space. And if you missed any of these other tutorials, I will make sure that they are all linked below this video. You ready? Let's get started. I am in Cricut Design Space and I am looking at the beta version 7.22.147. I have the definition of exclude right here at the top of my screen, and we will refer to it as needed. Now, it is important to show you how to get to the beta version if you do not have the most up-to-date version of Cricut Design Space before we get started with this tutorial. So I'm looking right here at the top of my screen and I'm looking at the word canvas. At the left, there are three lines right here. If you click on those three lines and scroll down to settings, you can see once I look at my settings, my application experience is set to beta. Now, if yours is still on the live, all you have to do is switch to the beta mode and then click done. Now, before doing this, it is recommended that you save any work that you have on your screen or in Cricut Design Space so that you don't run the risk of losing any of your hard work. I'm not going to make any changes. I just wanted to show you how to get to the beta version in case you haven't updated yours just yet. Now let's get into the tutorial. Once again, we will be looking at exclude, and from time to time, I will refer back to intersect because it is important to note that exclude is the opposite of intersect. Now, with exclude, the definition is pieces of the top layer are removed from the bottom layer. And I thought it was important to look at this in multiple ways. So we will do that. The first thing we're going to do is go over to images and let's find our good old cow from our last tutorial. If you did not get a chance to check out my previous tutorial on intersect, I will make sure that it is linked below this video. Now I'm going to bring this cow down, and I'm also going to duplicate this cow just in case we need to show it in multiple ways. I will also bring the view down on my screen to right at 75%. Now I'll show you this in the most basic form. So let's just say I grab a shape. Let's say, for example, I were to grab a star. I'll grab a purple star and let's change our cow to yellow just for now. Okay, so I'll put the star right on top of the cow. Now with exclude, let's look at it again. Pieces of the top layer are removed from the bottom layer. And in this case, the star is the top layer, the cow is the bottom layer. So if the star is on top and I were to select the star and the cow, and I go over here to my options, I click on combine and I go to exclude, what should happen is that the star should be removed from the cow. Okay, so let's look at that. And that's exactly what happened. So it doesn't matter that the star was purple because now you can't tell what color that star was. All you can see is that the star no longer exists because pieces of the top layer are removed from the bottom layer. Okay, so let's look at that in another example. Let's say, for example, I were to look for some cow print. Okay, so I'm going to grab some cow print, my good old cow print that I looked at from the previous tutorial. I'm going to bring the view down. Let's go down to 50%. That's fine. Okay. So remember, it really didn't matter what color that star was because in my first example, the star was purple. It didn't make any difference. So it doesn't make a difference for me to change the color of this cow print in this case. All right. So let's see what will happen. I have the cow print on top and I have the cow on the bottom. And if you're ever unsure about what is on the top layer, pay attention to what's in your layers panel. If I look at my layers panel, I know the cow print is at the very top and the cow is on the bottom. Okay, so if I were to select the cow and the cow print, what should happen in theory or in reality is that the cow print that is on top of that cow should be removed. Okay, so I'm going to click combine and I'm going to click exclude. Okay, so what happened was the cow print that was black at first, now the parts of the cow print that were black, now they are white and they are removed from the cow. The cow is still there and all of the cow print that was around the cow is also still there. Now let's look at that again, okay? I think it's important to look at that again and see how that is a little bit different from Intersect. Now remember with Intersect, the top layer took the shape of the bottom layer. That's a little bit different. So let's see how that works, okay? So we're going to get our cow again, and let me go ahead and duplicate this cow print. So I'm going to put this cow print on top of this cow. Let me change the color of this. Let's change this cow print to red, and let's change this cow to blue, and let's change this cow print to, we'll just do the same thing and change this cow to blue. Okay, so we'll make sure we're comparing apples to apples. Okay, so I have my blue cow and I have the red cow print. If I were to select the red cow print and the blue cow, and I go to combine and I click exclude, let's see, everything changed to blue except the pieces of the cow print that are on top of the cow. Those are white and they are removed. Now let's see how that is different from Intersect. Now remember with Intersect, the top layer should take the shape of the bottom layer. It not only takes the shape, but it also takes the color. So the top layer will take the shape of the bottom layer. Remember, Intersect is the opposite of this, the opposite of exclude. So I'm going to put the red cow print on top. Let me move it up so we can be looking at it all at the same time. I'm going to select both, and instead of selecting exclude, I'm going to select Intersect. I'm going to click combine and I'm going to click Intersect. The top layer, which was the red cow print, took the shape of the bottom layer, which was the blue cow. So now instead of having the blue cow print removed, I have the blue cow print that took the full shape of the cow. Okay, so this will be an example of Intersect, and this is the example of exclude. Now let me remove these. Let me just hide this, and let me also hide this, and let's look at a couple more examples. Okay, so let's look at a heart. So let's grab a heart. I like using hearts as examples because we can all relate to hearts, and I am going to duplicate this heart. Okay, and what I'm going to do is grab those sprinkles. Okay, so let me go to images and let's grab some sprinkles. Okay, and let me grab these sprinkles right here. I'm going to add them to my canvas. I'm going to bring my view back to Let's bring it to 50%. Now I can see these sprinkles have multiple layers. I can tell by looking over here at my layers panel, okay? Always pay attention to what is in your layers panel. It will give you all the information you need about what's going on your canvas. Now what I'm going to do before I start to play around with these sprinkles is I am going to go ahead and weld them, okay? And once I have them welded, I have just one layer of sprinkles, and that's really all I need. All right, and I'm going to duplicate this layer of sprinkles because we want to make sure we have a full understanding of what this all means, okay? So I'm going to take this first layer. Let me grab my definition of intersect. So intersect is different than exclude, and I think it's important that we know the difference between both of these so that when we are working with these images we're not confused. Now if you ever decide to use either one of these, because I really, in my honest opinion, I don't see how I'll be using these very much because I still love the slice option very much. All right, so let's look at exclude. Exclude, let me move that over. Exclude, the pieces of the top layer are removed from the bottom layer. Here's my top layer, these sprinkles. This heart is my bottom layer. So pieces of these sprinkles should be removed from the heart. So I'm going to select the sprinkles and the heart, and I'm going to click combine and exclude. Okay, let's see what happens. The sprinkles have been removed from the heart. It doesn't remove all of the sprinkles around the heart. It just removes the sprinkles that are on top of the heart, okay? Now let's see how that's different from intersect. With intersect, the top layer takes the shape of the bottom layer. So if I were to select these, both of these, and I click combine and I click intersect, let's see how this is different. The top layer, which was the sprinkles, took the shape of the bottom layer, which was the heart. So this is how exclude and intersect are the opposite of one another. Okay? Let's look at some text. Let's see how text impacts exclude. Okay? So what we're going to do is grab a shape. Let's grab a square in this case, and let's make this square a little bit bigger. And let me duplicate this. Let me change the color of the shape first. Let's change it to, let's go with purple, and let's duplicate it and put one over here. And I will grab a text box and I will just double click in it and I'll type my name. I'll type it in all caps. Okay, and I'll move it down here just right on top, and I will also duplicate my name and bring one over here because it's important to just make sure we're comparing them both. All right, and let's see what happens if I were to select my name and that square and click combine and exclude. Okay, so my name is removed from the square because the pieces of the top layer are removed from the bottom layer. To me, this reminds me very much of slice, okay? Let's look at what happens when I have my name on top of a square and I choose to intersect. The top layer took the shape and the color of the bottom layer. Okay, so this is how they're different. Now let's look at another example. Let's look at let's say I were to take a star, okay? Let's take a shape of a star and I were to put it on top of, let's see if I were to grab an image. Let's see what Christmas images I'm able to find. So let's see, because Christmas is right around the corner. Okay, so let's see. Let me just kind of scroll through here and see if there are any that catch my eye. I found one already. I like this. All right, and I am going to bring my view down, not to 25%. I'll bring it to 50%. I like this. I think this is very classy and beautiful. All right, and what I'm going to do with this Christmas image is I am going to change it to red, and I'm going to change this star to green. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, and let me duplicate both. I'm going to duplicate this word Christmas and bring it over here. I'm going to duplicate this star and also bring it over here. All right, so with the word Christmas, let's put the star. Let's bring the word Christmas, arrange it to send it to the back, and we will arrange the star to bring it to the front. Okay, so we're going to put this star on top of the word Christmas. Okay, I want to make sure I have it completely covered up. And let's see what happens with this. All right, if I select the green star on top of the word Christmas, let's see what will happen if I choose to exclude this. Okay, I'm going to go to combine and exclude. Okay, so it changed my green star to a red star, and everything that was green is gone. It's now white. Now let's see if I were to do the same thing with Intersect. So I have my Christmas in red. I have my star at the top. I'm going to make my star big and want to make sure that I cover up the word Christmas. I'm going to select both, and I'm going to click combine and intersect. Instead of having the star, because remember with intersect it's different, the top layer takes the shape of the bottom layer. Now all I have left is the word Christmas in red. So you can see the difference between what happens with exclude and what happens with intersect. Now, the only other thing that we need to just look at really quickly is what happens when there's an image. So let me grab an upload of an image that I've used in a previous tutorial. I have used this image of my daughters and I use this image with the word love. Now, let me bring it down because that is really, really big, and we don't need it to be that big. Okay, so let me bring it, actually make it a little bit smaller, and I will duplicate this. Now, with exclude, right? Let's see, the pieces of the top layer are removed from the bottom layer. Okay, so let's see if I were to grab a text box and type in the word love. Let me turn on my caps lock. Okay. And I am going to make this big, and I am going to also make this bold, and I'm also going to duplicate it. Okay, same thing like I did before, and I will select the word love, and I'll select the image. I will click combine, and I don't have the option to do anything with this. Now let me see if I were to, let's see if I were to weld the word love and see if that matters. All right, let's see if that matters. All right, I have the word love and I have our image on the bottom. I'm going to click combine, and the only thing I can do is just weld the two together, and that would be of no benefit to me. Now let's see what happens if I were to put the word love on the bottom and put the image on the top. Let's see what would happen if I wanted to try to exclude this. Okay, I'm going to click combine, and now I have options. I have the option to exclude if I want to. Okay, so you see what happened is that the word love was excluded, and the image is completely gone because the image is what was on top. Now let's see if I try to do this same thing with intersect. So I'm going to have the word love, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and weld it. I'm going to put it on top, and let's see what happens if I try to intersect this. I cannot. All right, so let's put the word love on the bottom. I'm going to send it to the back. We're going to send the image to the front. And let's see what options we have. I'm going to select both, combine. Let's try intersect. Okay, so it does the same thing that it has done with all of the previous images. So hopefully you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. Hopefully you were able to see the difference between exclude and intersect, and you have a good understanding of how both of these features work within the combine option. Now, I have not personally found a way that I will be using these because I still rely heavily on the old tools that were already in Cricut Design Space. I personally love the slice option, but please leave me a comment below and let me know which one of these is your favorite. Do you like slice? Have you had a chance to look at unite, subtract, intersect, and exclude? And if you have a favorite, please let me know. I would love to hear your feedback below. At any rate, thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.